Welcome to Reflections, a program where we discuss values and virtues for the transformation of the individual and the society in general. I am Father George Ehusani, and I have with me in the studio today Agboola Adetutu. Adetutu is a sales manager with a health management organization, yes. HMO, with a lot of experience in marketing and in consulting in business, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. So today we would like to ask you, you live in Lagos.
Oh, yes.
And you're working in and around Lagos.
Yes.
I want to discuss the issue of stress. And you're married?
Oh, yes, sir.
Blessed with children?
Yes, 3
Great.
kids.
So what are the dimensions of stress in contemporary Nigerian life that, as you can experience it, or your friends or your family members can experience it, what would you name as dimensions of stress that Nigerians are carrying today?
Wow, I want to first of all say a big thank you for having me here. Thank you, Terra. Thank you, Father.
Thank you
for having me here. I would say that for a typical Nigerian, stress is a part of our lives. Stress, you are inundated with stress on every angle.
Stress is part of our life.
It is everywhere. So I believe that the average Nigerian stress levels will be shooting through the roof, because if you're looking at daily living.
Yeah.
Daily living. I mean, you need to get to work sometimes because if you're living on the mainland, even irrespective of where you're living, and you work on the island, you need to get up by 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m. to get your children ready for school and to get yourself out on the road before the traffic hits you. Then we now move to the stress of traffic. There are times that something happens and you're in traffic 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours, and you're still going to work and you still have deliverables. So when you're talking about the work stress itself, you're looking at the hours, you're looking at the deliverables, you're looking at the expectations that your line manager has from you.
And in business, sometimes unrealistic expectations.
Very unrealistic expectations. I'm someone who's worked in the banking industry, and you have targets that when you hear them, you shiver. I mean, you are stressed by hearing the figures, and you're having weekly meetings reinforcing those moments of stress. So wait
a minute. A young graduate employee in do you call them supervisors in the bank? Some young worker is told to bring 100 million. 100
million is actually small.
It's small.
100 million is small. So maybe for someone who is in the marketing or sales department,
yes.
You have various criteria. So you're looking at foreign exchange income. You're looking at regular naira income.
Not only naira.
Yes, you're looking at deals on imports. You know, so one person could be carrying a portfolio target of about 500 million.
I hope that is before, not these days.
I'm talking currently, sir.
Even now?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes,
so they
sir.
are living with that stress of, where do I get this money?
Literally,
they are supposed to get that money from where? That target from where?
From everywhere. So I remember when I was there. I mean, you are always on stress. You're always stressed up, because when you meet somebody and you're saying hello to the person, in your mind you're also thinking, how do I find a way to get this person?
So as a young banker, your social events are commercial events, business events.
Yes, even in church.
Even
when
in church.
You are in church, you are thinking, okay, who can help
this
me
person
meet
that
my
is
targets?
looking so well dressed.
I think I need to talk to this person. I think I need to make a comment. So you are under perpetual stress, because this is your KPI. I mean, this is the reason why you get paid. You know, so that stress, that level of is high. So literally, you know, your blood is always pumping. So you actually find it that a lot of young people, you can actually find them
relaxed.
No, you won't see that. So you see the stress in their eyes, you see their mannerism, you see it in road rage. We have terrible road rage in Lagos. You see people screaming at the top of their voices.
That's now all over the country.
I mean, it's terrible in Lagos. You see people that look sane, and when they react,
when they lose it,
you will be like, what's happening here? And that tells you that we are inundated with stress on every level. So is it coming to the home? There are times you come back from work and you're on your feet till 11:30, because things have to be done in the house.
Yeah, you have to take care of children.
You have to take care of your children. You have to prepare them for school the next day. So what I'm trying to say is that the stress, and then we're talking about insecurity. There are times that you're driving in Lagos in the traffic and you actually have two phones. You have your normal phone that maybe has your banking details, and you have another phone that is not so important, so that in case somebody knocks on your point a gun at you, you can hand over the smaller one so that they can just let you go. I mean, so you can imagine you're driving in the traffic, you're trying to walk, and you are afraid. You're looking. Once you see somebody, you're peeping, you're checking, you're double checking whether you're. So you can see the level of stress. So, and this, it's a ripple effect, and it extends and it keeps. So it affects your family, affects your friends, affects your relations, affects your neighbors. So I mean, it's.
So the young banker or the young corporate worker, for example, who finally gets home, let's say at 7 p.m. after a very stressful work day.
Maybe 8:30.
Maybe 8:30, 9 p.m. I mean, I know somebody who lived in Agboola, but who used to get home around 11 p.m. Now, so you get home, and then does it not affect your relationship with your husband, your wife?
You are already traumatized. And as a traumatized person, you're going to traumatize other people. So most likely you have issues of transferred aggression. So maybe your kids are running to you, mommy.
Yeah, because your kids want your attention.
They've not seen you all day, which is the normal instinct that they have, like, oh, mommy is back or daddy is back. And you're just like, please, just leave me alone.
And then if they insist, then you may spank them.
You spank them, you shout on them, you just shove them. Transferred aggression. You know, same thing. Of course, it would affect the home, because your husband also has expectations of you. There are things that you expect, but because you are not in the right frame of mind, you are charged up, you're highly traumatized. So you are going to transfer that trauma to them. And of course, we all know that once that is happening in the house, you can't meet you can't meet expectations, what you should do as a mother to your kids. You are also not doing the same to your husband. They will in turn react to you,
of course,
which is further
because they were not expecting the aggression.
Yes, so which will also push up your stress levels, your trauma levels, and it becomes a vicious cycle.
I mean, the husband comes home and is expecting a calm, affectionate wife.
Guardian of Eden.
Yeah, a calm, affectionate wife, and the wife is like this, it's charged, and it's about somebody has half a cup, her cup is not full, is half, and the husband's cup is half, but they are expecting the other to fill their cup for them.
Got it, sir.
So what do you get? Wow. I mean, this is very, very serious, and on account of what you have described, then the home loses a critical element of a home, a place of respite, a place of rest, a place of repose. Right. So after a hectic day, the home is supposed to be a place of respite. But if the people who are in the home are charged up,
that's very true. And apart from the people being charged up, the environment of the home is charged up, because most likely you're coming home and there is no light.
There's no NEPA.
There's no electricity. So you're coming home, or you just get home and you're like, so you have to go and get the gen pumped up, pour the fuel. I mean,
that is if there's fuel.
That is if there's fuel. So like a few months back, there was a really huge issue.
6 weeks of no fuel.
No light, no fuel. So you're looking at a situation where there's no light, no fuel. The money you are managing, as it were, instead of you to use it for other things, you have to use that money to buy jerrycans of fuel. I mean, so this is a cycle. So at the home front, you see that in fact, I would say that majority of the issues we're seeing in society, because I see the family as like the minute the cell of the body. You know, it's where that all bodily functions are taking place. So if that cell of the body is not right, the society can be right. The family setting, if it's not right, the society. So I believe the issues we're having in society today is because there is a dysfunctionality from the family level. And that is also due to a lot of stress. I mean, you see women complain of stress from their mother-in-laws. That's another dimension.
Mother-in-laws. Potential mother-in-laws complaining about actual mother-in-law.
you see,
because I used to tell her, I said, look, every Nigerian mother-in-law is a witch. Now, the person accusing her of witchcraft is 20 years time or 25 years time.
You will step into that. I mean, I was blessed to have an amazing mother-in-law I mean,
Thank
but a
God.
lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that. So I think, like you said, I mean, we're having this ripple effect from child to husband to mother, and everybody is, I mean, like you said, this person is half full, this person is half full. The husband is expecting the wife to fill up his cup. The wife is expecting it, but they are so stressed from all levels that nobody is able to help one another. So we begin to work against one another instead of seeing ourselves as team members building the same thing. We are like, oh, you are doing this, you are doing that. So the stress levels continue to
and the
aggravate.
failure of society, governance, infrastructure, like you mentioned generator just now. You mentioned that you reach home after all this stressful day and there is no electricity. Sometimes there's no water. Then when it is time to sleep, the noise of generators. Because I was in Lagos. I mean, I got to Lagos and my sister had just moved to one place in Isolo.
No.
And I decided to first spend the night in my sister's house. And throughout, honestly, I never slept for 1 hour.
Oh my.
I never really slept for 1 hour because of the noise of generators all around. And thank God, within a month after that, my sister was transferred from there. But it was I just asked myself, how are the people here? You know, the crowded part of Isolo?
Yes.
That's the area.
Wow.
How are people managing
Living
here?
here.
You know, and I really sympathize with people for whom that is life. I was talking the other day during our workshop of people observing some moments of silence. What it means is that those people, the possibility is not even there.
It's not available because, you know, like you said, you come back, you sleep with the noise of generators. So in reality,
you are not relaxing.
Your body
is
hasn't
not
rested. You have not rested.
No.
So your body can recharge. So you can see the build up. So let's say this is a week. A Monday, maybe I slept all on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, there was no light. And so I wasn't able to sleep well. My brain hasn't rested well. I have not really slept. And I go to work. I'm going to transfer that aggression to somebody else's
It will affect your efficiency at work.
Your performance.
Your performance.
It will affect your performance. So this continues back to back. And especially when your home is supposed to be where you can
relax.
So literally, we do not have moments of silence. How? Because the stress levels are so high. And if society, and when I'm talking about society, I'm talking about individuals, I'm talking about religious bodies. If we do not begin to address these issues, all the so-called things we're complaining about in the society, they are fruits of this basic problem.
I mean, stressed people, especially traumatized people, will go on traumatizing others.
Yes.
Because I'm just thinking about when you wake up in this stressful environment, you manage to grab a few hours of sleep and you wake up. Either the newspaper or the TV, what do you hear? What kind of news stare at you?
Wow.
And what do they cause in you?
Wow. I was talking to someone who is very close to me recently, and she's seen that her health has deteriorated. And you know what? We were just trying to discuss. Somehow, I don't know how we linked it, but she was like, do you know that the more attention I've been paying to all these messages they send on my WhatsApp and all
the
this
more
issue,
the stress I get.
She's so stressed up and she literally cannot sleep at night.
Yeah, I think these things going viral
social media
are affecting us.
Social media is a problem. So you look at, every time you're watching the TV, you're hearing one story of insurgents, you're looking at domestic violence, you're looking at violence
you are looking at scandal of children, sex pornography
you understand?
of children.
Like the recent one that was
Yes.
all over the news.
Yes.
I mean, I was traumatized. People were sending those videos. I couldn't look at them because I was like, I don't think I will be okay.
Or hearing people sleeping with dogs.
I mean, so
I know somebody, a young person in early 20s, who told me yesterday that they sent that thing to her. she didn't go through it, but the mere fact of hearing that this happened has traumatized her. She's not able to sleep.
Yes. Yes. And you see these issues with banditry. You see people, you see violent accidents. You see, so all of these things, it's like, I just feel like our minds are like sponges. So if I put a foam sponge in a soapy water, when I press that foam out, I'm going to see soap.
Yes.
If I put in the clean water, if I put in red water, that's what's going to come out. And I think that's what's really happening in our society.
Under these circumstances, we are living in a society that has almost completely collapsed. Governance is almost non-existent. It's almost non-existent. The society has almost completely collapsed. We have to take care of we are like our own local government.
True.
So when you are getting a job as a young graduate, you are going to get a job, you didn't imagine that you have to organize your own local government, that you will be your own local government, organizing your road, your water, your light, your everything. But that's how it's turning out to be with the absence of, the government has gone on leave. And that's part of our stress. Because things that are taken for granted in other societies are not taken for granted here. I mean, I'm told during COVID-19, a friend of mine who lives in Houston told me that they never cooked again during that period because they were eating the food that were delivered for the children from their school authorities.
Yes.
See, the schools delivered too much food to his children that they didn't eat again. They didn't cook again in their house. Now, that's a society that is organized and cares for people, and that leaders, those who lead them, they are the ones that have sleepless nights, struggling to say, how can my people have peace? How can my people have respite? But here, the leaders take care of themselves and leave the people on their own. This is where we are.
Yes.
Under the circumstances, Tutu, what can individuals like you and I, what can you do? What do you think you can do to ease that stress, that tension, that aggression in society? What can we do to calm the nerves of one another? Is there something we can do as individuals? Is there something our churches can do and mosques can do? Is there something that groups can do? What can we do? Or are we going to continue to live in this with this high tension? We will crack.
Yeah.
So what can we do?
This is a multi-billion-dollar question, because if individuals, corporate bodies, religious organizations see this, and our leaders see that our well-being should be prioritized.
If they acknowledge it as an issue.
Acknowledge it, because like you said, acknowledgement is because we cannot even prioritize what we do not acknowledge. So if my local government chairman, if the governor of my state can even empathize with what I am going through, because for you to empathize with someone, I mean, there must be a level of emotional, when you're to put yourself in that person's shoe. If we can
attempt to do something about it.
Attempt to do something. But if it's just like, we are doing our own thing, let them do their own thing, until everybody at each level can understand that we are living in a traumatic society. If something is not done about it speedily, things are going to go really awry. But if everybody at their level can sensitize and say, let's deal with these issues. Let's deal. How can we make a way? What can we do to alleviate the suffering of the people?
As you were analyzing the various dimensions of stress in our society, one that you didn't mention, which is critical, is that when the father is stressed up and the mother is stressed up and everybody is stressed up in the home, it's going to very negatively affect the children. We are talking of we're talking of crime, rising crime rate, banditry, kidnapping, mugging all over the place. But experts have discovered that when children from the womb, when a woman is stressed up while being pregnant, when children at very young age, if they see constantly, if they are exposed to their mother or their father being stressed up or agitated, anxious, it's going to affect the child very badly. The child is going to grow up not having it complete upstairs, not having it complete, because he grew up in a highly stressed up, agitated, anxious environment.
I agree.
So it is in the I believe it is in the interest of all of us to see how to calm this tension down, so that our children are not growing up in toxic. In fact, that's the word. In a emotionally, psychologically toxic environment.
I totally agree, sir, because when you look at I work with a lot of young people,
yes.
Because I do a lot of volunteer work with young people, and you find out that toxicity, it exudes out of people, and that tells you that they are getting it from somewhere. They are getting it from somewhere. So is it a parent that is so stressed up, doesn't even have time to talk to the child? You've said something from womb, right?
Yes.
That's at childhood level. So something has already gone round in the psyche of that child. That's another level. But what about the ones that are even growing up? What about the teenagers? What about the young adults? Where is the connection when the family bond is broken? Where is the place where a mother is actually talking to it? So when you see young people act out, something is wrong from the home front. And I was speaking to someone recently, and a young person said, forget. Growing up this life is a scam.
Growing up
in this life is a scam. He said because the amount, and he was giving me details. He was giving me things that he's facing on the daily. And so it's like, it's a scam. I mean, you just feel like I'm going to grow up. But the pain, the issues, the bullying. We
were speaking, a teacher, an elementary school teacher spoke to us yesterday and told us about 2 children, 8 and 9, coming to say that they have contemplated suicide.
Oh my God.
She imagined that they didn't know what suicide was, but that the whole class of 8 and 9 knew what suicide was. And she asked them, what is suicide? They say for somebody to kill themselves. So, and she was shocked. And they actually volunteered to tell her that actually they have attempted suicide before.
Oh my.
8 and 9 have attempted suicide before.
Oh my.
That one said he climbed the roof attempting to jump down from the roof. The other attempted tapia or something.
Wow.
8 and 9.
8 years old.
That is telling you where we are. We are
at
a very dangerous place. And we will need to have a second segment to discuss this, because we are discussing something very, very critical. I mean, our leaders are jumping up and down, preparing for election and, all the conspiracies, all the plans and so on and so forth. But what are they coming to govern? What society are they coming to govern? The society that is collapsing under their watch.
Collapsed.
So, I want to thank you, Adetutu, for this interaction, and we shall have a second interaction to discuss what can we do about this. We just pray that God will help us get through this.
Amen. A big amen to that.